Hey everyone, it's me Stagger. Sorry if I sound sick, that's because I am. I've been sick for about 6 days now, and I think it's safe to say that I might actually have the flu. I haven't had my flu shots in a while, but anyway, we're not here to talk about that. I'm making this video for two reasons actually. First of all, just to show you that I have my computer back, yay! And second of all, it's to address the issue of basically why I haven't made a Sprite tutorial yet, and there is actually a pretty big reason for that. I know I'm very overdue when it comes to that, but the reason being is because I wanted to get both 4th generation and 5th generation both involved into the video, and I would refuse to do it without both of them in sight. And the only thing is though is that I can't seem to get the program to work, and it sucks, I know, but here's the thing though, when a program doesn't want to work the way you want it to, you go to forums, see if there's a solution. If not, then you take matters at your own hands by figuring out what you really can do. And in fact, in the background, you're actually seeing what I've been trying to do for a while. Like, the biggest issue mostly is coloration, and another issue is, well, obviously the thing doesn't work. In fact, the whole reason why I was actually going this route in the background was because the program where I can actually edit the sprites without any issues in the game Telefang, it doesn't want to work. But regardless, whatever the case of whatever issue that 4th generation is, the 4th generation programs is giving me trouble, it's mainly because of several reasons actually. The program was just poorly made. It wasn't debugged at all, or even debugged, or yeah, pretty much it wasn't debugged at all, or had some faulty debugging. It could be because of the software, the operating system that I have is too new and it doesn't function, or it's just because it's just, oh, actually, I don't know what the last one is. I don't know. I'm sick. Sorry. Anyway, so continuing on. So the thing is about this program, I can't remember the name off my head, but I just remember it from giving me so much trouble and headache. I've been banging my head against the wall so many times to try to figure it out, but it just doesn't want to work, no matter how hard I try. So anyway, it's very basic in regards of how it works. I mean, because it's just simply you just put in the trainer sprites, front or back, and then you just export the bitmap, then you edit it, and then you import the bitmap, and it should be, and then you put the narc in. Oh no, sorry, it doesn't use narcs, it actually uses the BTX. So you just put in the BTX back into the folder, and then you convert that to a narc, and then you convert that back into the DS game. And that's simple in premise, but it doesn't want to colorate. It doesn't want to do colorations correctly. So what you would then have to do is go into a palette viewer, guess which palette you are, copy it, but with each number kind of backwards in a sense. So, like, saying for an example, 1F will actually be 1F, 2B would actually be 2B, 1F. So, and then you gotta do that for every single color, and then find it in a hex editor, and then paste it, and then create the new coloration basically. But you also gotta remember which color corresponds to which. In fact, there's actually a tutorial on color swapping that I will link up to the description. And essentially, I was following that tutorial as well as this image from Deviant Art on how to do it with Telefang, and you can actually see my struggles in the video that's playing in the background. So because of this, you know, if the program doesn't want to function and give you a proper bitmap, or you know, insert bitmaps correctly, then you might as well just take it away and use Tile Molester instead. Oh god, sorry. Anyway, you might as well just use Tile Molester instead, and just change the thing over there. Now, of course, this does not change the palette, and you still need to change the palette through a hex editor. And because of that, oh god, I'm losing my voice. And because of that, you got to, yeah, pretty much, you still have to memorize every single, which color corresponds with which palette, and then how to basically react accordingly. The easiest solution to do that is just to write down the palette coloration, and then you got to write down copy and paste the palette coloration into the hex editor, then copy and paste your sprite in there, so that way it will read as what coloration you do. If only it was that simple, actually, because because the way Tile Molester actually reads coloration, it's not the same way as you would expect it to. And I could go on and on and on and on and on about how this works and whatever, but to be perfectly honest, I honestly don't know too much about how it works. So so because of this, I can't do 4th gen at all. And I know that there are actually a couple of solutions that I could try out, and one of them is actually one of the easiest solutions to do, but in a sense I'm actually very hesitant to do it, and that is ask Kazawar, because he's the one that's insane enough to actually make all of these things. Anyway, we can ask Kazawar to help us out and fix it, because none of the forums know how to do it, or none of the forum solutions know how to do it. I mean, I seriously looked up everything, and I even seen like a couple of repeats, and then the moderators just point out to the solution, a quote-unquote solution, that doesn't even have the answer at all. Yeah, there was one where Kazawar did actually respond, but it wasn't. But when I tried it out, it simply didn't work out. Not only that, but Kazawar, he is currently working on the current generation. In other words, Generation 7 at the moment. And with the new Pokemon game coming out for the Switch, or at least I think it said that it was officially confirmed. I can't fully remember, but yeah. That means that there is a potential that he will be going to work on Switch as well, and basically try to make things work out for there as well. So basically he's a very important person when it comes to 3DS modding, and more than likely soon to be Switch modding, or really just modding in general. Kazawar is a pretty big powerhouse, and he uses Pokemon to basically work out most of his projects, which is great. And I want him to continue going with that flow, because he cannot, because you know, he is really innovating many things, and I don't want to disturb him with something that's over 10 years old and he probably even forgot about. So with that being said, I'm not going to bug him about it. The second solution is I can wait for someone smart enough to fix it, and that is cool and all, because with any kind of modding tools, it's pretty much public domain, and you can pretty much just release patch after patch in case you're really into that. Another thing is that I could probably get my hands on fixing it as well, because it's made in Visual Basic, and I do have lots of Visual Basic experience from taking 3 classes and from what I learned from my brother, who is actually a full-fledged software engineer, and see if I can fix it. But most likely it's unlikely, and I would have to probably rewrite the entire code from scratch because of how old the program is. So who knows? Maybe we won't probably be able to fix it at all. And admittingly, I am a bit of a script kiddie, and also I am a bit of a script kiddie, and I would probably have to rely on my brother a lot. So with that being said, another solution is to just make a new one, because obviously it's not going to function. If it won't function, then what's the point of fixing it, right? Especially if it's 10 years old, it's outdated. We just need to make a new model overall, and I think that might actually be the best solution that we can do as a community of basically Pokemon modders. Will it be easy? Well, we already have a base code to work with, so I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be that it shouldn't be that difficult to just modernize that code and release it to the masses. So there's that option. Another note, I should probably note this, actually, I almost forgot about this, is that I was actually offered by a person to learn all of this stuff in exchange of a in exchange for my Skype number, and from looking at his videos, he does know what he's doing. So that means it is possible to do 4th gen sprite editing. In fact, if Bloody Platinum exists, and also if games like Bloody Platinum exist, and also Moemon Platinum, which I have played both, if they exist, then it clearly is possible to do. Thing is, though, about that offer of my Skype call or my Skype number for information, I just felt that was a little bit sketchy. Because the thing is, though, if you're going to release information to someone on the internet, nonetheless, then it should be public for everybody. I mean, it doesn't even matter how crappy your tutorial is, someone will be able to interpret it. But, don't do, just on the internet, you should know better. There really isn't anything there really isn't supposed to be like a private lesson if you're going to. Yeah, basically, private lessons are pretty obsolete on the internet, unless you're like paying for unless you're doing like some kind of online class or whatever. If you're getting information, it should be free. Just like, well, yeah, any information on the internet should be free. there really shouldn't be any reason why you need to pay for information on the internet. But what the heck? Oh, sorry, my screen turned off and I freaked out for a little bit. But anyway, yeah, information should be free, and especially when it comes to something in a gray area like Pokemon modding, or really just modding in general. And I understand that giving my Skype information is kind of free, but I feel like that will be losing my privacy. So I just decided, so I didn't reply to his offer indicating that I declined. But whatever the case is, 4th gen is at a rut. I cannot do 4th gen sprites. 4th game in battle sprites, I should probably specify. When I mentioned Mod Platinum, that's because the sprite editor also does include Pokemon sprites. And that includes like both the back and the front. The trainer and Pokemon sprites actually share the same space. So, same space, and they're both only 2 frames of animation. So, yeah, it should be simple. It should be like one of the easiest things out there, but it really isn't. 5th gen, which actually has more animations, is surprisingly super easy. So, but I won't do Pokemon sprites because there are way too many frames that I have to work with, and more than likely it won't look that great because of the whole the animation file, I have no idea how to edit that. So unfortunately that's actually where I kind of have to draw the line there. But yes, that should be pretty much all that I can really explain. But I'm sorry that it took me so long to do. It's just that being a perfectionist, it really is hard. It was really hard for me to drop the idea of, forgetting about 4th gen, and, not editing the sprites for that, and then moving on to 5th gen and showing you how to do that. But it has to be dropped. So the tutorial that when I get better, the tutorial will just be 5th gen. It will not include 4th gen, and I dearly apologize for that. But it's been I think it's been about a year I've been trying to figure this out, and I think it's safe to say I just need to give up. So that's it, and I'll be seeing ya.